Today on Unwinding the Veil, we look at the tombs of Myra, temples for the dead, or something else. Welcome to Myra, nestled in the Taurus Mountains of southern Turkey. What you're looking at isn't CGI, it's real stone. Massive facades, towering 30 feet high, carved straight into vertical cliffs. According to mainstream archaeology, these are just tombs, final resting places for Lycian elites, built over 2,000 years ago. But when you really stop and look at them, you start to wonder, were these really tombs? Or are we looking at something much older, much stranger, and much more misunderstood? The story goes like this. The Lycians were an ancient Anatolian culture, around from about 500 BCE. They had a rich language, Greek-influenced architecture, and a flair for cliffside funerary art. These tombs were carved to honor their dead, especially the wealthy or powerful. They believed the soul was carried into the afterlife by winged creatures, so placing tombs high in the cliffs supposedly made for an easier takeoff. It's a nice story, neat, clean, easy to digest. But here's the thing, when you look at the scale and complexity of these so-called tombs, the burial chamber explanation starts to feel a little underwhelming. These aren't just holes in a rock. We're talking about multi-level facades with carved doors, columns, pediments, entire buildings chiseled out of stone. Some of the entrances are 10 feet tall. Others mimic temples, with striking symmetry and clean geometry that suggest architectural planning far beyond a carve-as-you-go approach. They look less like tombs and more like cliffside apartments, or even temples. And here's the kicker. No one's ever found many bodies in them. No grave goods, no real signs of long-term ritual use. Could they have been looted? Sure. But every single one? Or were they something else from the beginning? The cliffs themselves are steep and unforgiving. Building anything here would be hard enough, but carving massive, symmetrical architecture into the rock? That takes it to a whole new level. Mainstream archaeologists tell us the Lycians used iron chisels, hammers, and sand abrasives. The problem? Those tools would have required incredible skill and coordination to work at height, with no margin for error. And where's the debris? Thousands of cubic feet of limestone had to be removed, yet there's barely any trace of it nearby. No scaffolding holes, no ramps, no leftover tools. Did they clean up? Recycle the stone? Or are we missing an even bigger part of the story? This isn't the only place where ancient people supposedly did the impossible with hand tools and willpower. Sites like Petra in Jordan and the Ellora caves in India show similar techniques, huge monuments cut straight from bedrock. Maybe we're looking at a lost building tradition, or a forgotten technology, or maybe these weren't even Lycian at all. It's entirely possible these structures predate the Lycians, adopted and reused, like squatters in a stone temple complex. So yes, it's feasible that humans built these tombs. But plausible? That's a different question. Why build so many tombs this large, this high, and this perfect, just to house the dead? Why the lack of construction traces? Why the architectural precision? And if these really were graves, then why do they feel like temples, or monuments to something else entirely? This is Myra, a mystery carved in stone, and the more you stare at it, the less the official story makes sense. If you're starting to see the cracks in the narrative, Don't worry, that's just the veil slipping. Subscribe, share, and keep digging. There's a lot more to uncover.